We tend to see stocks as just numbers on a screen, right? Little green and red arrows. But when you buy a share, you're not just buying a little piece of the profit. You're buying an actual piece of the company itself. So what does that really get you? Let's dive in and break down what it truly means to be a company member.
It sounds like a pretty simple question, doesn't it? But what you own is so much more than just a line item in your brokerage account. It's actually a whole bundle of rights, a measure of influence, and a genuine stake in the business. So let's ask it one more time. What do you really own? To get to the bottom of that, we have to start with the legal groundwork. Because think about it. Before you can use any of your powers as a shareholder, you first have to know what the law officially considers a member.
Okay, I know this looks like a wall of legal jargon, but stick with me because this is crucial. The law basically splits members into two big groups. First, you've got the subscribers to the memorandum. Just think of them as the original founders, the people who signed the very first documents to create the company. And then there's everybody else who joins later. And for them to become an official member, they have to clear two very specific hurdles.
And here are those two hurdles made simple. Honestly, it's a lot like joining a club. First, you have to formally agree that you want in. That's your agreement in writing. But you're not really a member until the club manager actually writes your name on the official membership list. For a company, that all-important list is called the Register of Members, and you absolutely have to have both.
And this is huge. This court ruling pinpoints the exact moment the magic happens. It's not when you get that fancy share certificate in the mail. Nope. It is the literal second your name is entered into the company's official register. That register is the Bible. It's the ultimate source of truth, the definitive record of who owns what.
All right, so we know what a member is, but how do you actually become one if you weren't there at the very beginning? Let's take a look at the different ways you can get your name onto that all-important register.
So how do you get on the list? Well, there are a few different gateways. You might buy brand new shares directly from the company, or maybe someone transfers their shares to you. You could inherit them, or you could even get shares by converting a loan you made to the company into stock. But here's the thing, no matter which path you take, they all lead to the exact same destination, getting your name written down in that official register.
And this really hammers home that fundamental difference. The founding members, those original subscribers, boom, they're members from day one automatically. But for every single person who comes after, it doesn't matter how they get their shares, their membership only begins at that one specific moment, when their name is officially put into the register. Okay, so you've done it. Your name is in the register, you are officially a member. The big question is, so what? What can you actually do? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's open up what I like to call the shareholder's toolkit and see the rights and powers you've just unlocked. Probably your most powerful tool is your voice, and you use it at company meetings. You have the right to vote on huge decisions. You have the right to be notified about those meetings. I mean, you can't vote if you don't know what's happening, right? Can't make it? No problem. You can appoint a proxy to vote for you, and if things get really serious, you can even team up with other shareholders to force a special meeting or to get the ball rolling on removing a director.
And look, these aren't just vague ideas. They have real legal teeth. For example, the law says a company has a strict 2-month deadline to get you your share certificate after your allotted shares. That's not a suggestion. It's an enforceable right that makes sure you get proof of your ownership and you get it promptly. Your toolkit isn't just about voting. It's also about access. You have the right to inspect the company's books, like that all-important register of members, to see who your fellow owners are. This right to information is pretty much the bedrock of transparency. And of course, you have the fundamental right to sell or transfer your shares and to claim your slice of the assets if the company ever dissolves.
Now, this chart is a brilliant way to see where your power actually comes from. You can see that some rights, like voting at meetings, come directly from the law itself, the Companies Act. But then, look at that other column. So many of our most fundamental rights, like electing directors and getting paid dividends, were actually solidified by the Supreme Court. It just goes to show that your power as a shareholder is built on this dual foundation, the law itself and the courts that interpret it.
So, when you boil it all down, this is the key takeaway. A share is not just some financial asset you passively hold on to. It's an active stake in the company. It's a tool for oversight, a mechanism for influence, and most importantly, it's a voice. Which leaves us with a final big thought. We know what the rights are on paper. But in a world dominated by massive multinational corporations and huge institutional investors, how powerful can one single shareholder's voice truly be? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.